The Grand Council chamber hummed with tension. 12 alien leaders sat around a massive table. Ambassador Taiho stood at the center, his blue ceremonial robe flowing around him. The chamber was inside a massive space station that orbited a distant star far from Earth. Above the table, a holographic display showed Earth rotating slowly. The blue planet looked peaceful and small. Next to it floated a red label that read, "Defenseless, approach with caution." Taiho cleared his throat. His skin had a slight purple tint that glowed under the bright lights of the chamber. He looked at the younger diplomats who had requested this special meeting. "I understand your confusion about Earth," he said. "For centuries, we have maintained distance from this world. This classification is not what you believe it to be." The younger diplomats shifted in their seats. One of them, Ambassador Hoon, spoke up. "Our surveys show they have primitive spacecraft that barely reach their own moon. Their weapons are basic. They fight among themselves over tiny plots of land. Why should we avoid such an easy target?" Taiho sighed. He had expected this argument. Every new generation of galactic leaders questioned the strange classification of Earth. Senior Intelligence Officer Jiwoo stepped forward. Her metallic uniform caught the light as she moved. Unlike the ceremonial robes of the diplomats, her outfit was practical and meant for field work. She had visited hundreds of planets during her long career. The first survey team, led by Captain Do-hyun, made this designation deliberately, she explained. What they witnessed on Earth, the humans' capacity for adaptation and warfare, frightened them. She touched a control panel on her wrist. The hologram changed to show scenes from Earth's history, wars, weapons, the rapid development of technology over just a few hundred years. Humans went from horse-drawn carriages to space travel in less than a century, Jiwoo continued. No other species in our records has adapted so quickly. Analyst Kyung, the youngest council member with skin that shifted between green and blue, depending on his mood, looked unimpressed. But they appear so primitive compared to us. They don't even have faster-than-light travel. Their cities would fall in days if we decided to claim their world. Jiwoo smiled, but there was no humor in it. That's precisely what makes them dangerous. Their apparent defenselessness is our best defense against them. She changed the hologram again. This time it showed footage from the first contact mission 300 years ago. The small survey ship had landed in a remote forest. The team had observed humans from hiding. Captain Do-hyun's team watched as humans responded to a natural disaster, a large flood. The local village was destroyed. Instead of abandoning the weak as most species would, the humans formed chains, risking their lives to save strangers. They rebuilt in weeks. They adapted. They survived. The hologram changed again, showing human warfare. The council members watched in silence. Most importantly, Jiwoo said quietly, they learn from their enemies. They absorb tactics and technology. Any species that attacks them might win the first battle, but the humans would study them, adapt, and return stronger. Taiho nodded. The designation Defenseless was Captain Do-hyun's greatest act of wisdom. It was never meant as an invitation to conquer. It was a warning to stay away. The chamber fell silent as the council members considered this information. The hologram returned to showing Earth slowly turning in space. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Park sat alone in her lab at Seoul's largest observatory. The room was dark except for the glow of her computer screens. Outside, the city lights sparkled in the night. She stared at her monitor, puzzled by the strange signal patterns appearing for the third night in a row. The wavelengths didn't match any known cosmic phenomenon. They came in regular intervals, too precise to be natural. Probably just cosmic background radiation, she muttered, but she didn't believe it. She saved the data anyway. Dr. Park rubbed her tired eyes. She had been tracking these signals for weeks now, never sharing her findings with colleagues. They would think she was chasing aliens. Her career wouldn't survive such ridicule. She zoomed in on the latest signal. There was a pattern there, something almost like language, not random at all. Her phone rang, making her jump. It was the observatory director. "Park, we're picking up something strange on the main array. Can you come check it out?" Her heart raced. "What kind of signal?" "I don't know. It's like nothing we've seen before. It's coming from the direction of the moon." Dr. Park looked back at her screen. The signal she had been tracking wasn't coming from deep space as she had thought. It was coming from much closer. "I'll be right there," she said, quickly copying her data to a portable drive. Perhaps she wasn't crazy after all. What she didn't know was that her discovery would soon shatter Earth's defenseless status forever. Scientist Minho stared at Earth through his view screen. The blue planet looked peaceful from his hidden base inside a deep lunar crater. Minho knew better. His people had strict rules about observing Earth, but he had broken them all. Minho was young for his species, only 140 years old. His skin had the pale blue color of youth, with silver patches that would darken with age. He had volunteered for a routine sensor maintenance mission to the edge of the solar system. Instead, he had programmed his small ship to land on Earth's moon. "The Council will exile me if they discover this outpost," he said to himself as he adjusted the cloaking field. The technology bent light around his small base, making it invisible to Earth's primitive satellites and telescopes. Minho's people, the Varian, had advanced technology that humans could barely imagine. His small outpost had more computing power than all of Earth combined. The cloaking field alone required energy that could power a human city for years. He checked his logs one more time. 3 months of observations, and Earth fascinated him more each day. Minho had studied 50 different species across the galaxy, but none were like humans. Recording day 94 of observation, he spoke into his log. Fascinating contradictions continue to emerge in human behavior. These humans wage war over imaginary boundaries, yet risk their lives to save strangers. They create beautiful art and terrible weapons with equal passion. Minho zoomed his sensors into a conflict zone on Earth. Humans fought over resources and land, killing each other with primitive but effective weapons. Then he shifted to another region where humans rushed to help victims of a natural disaster, forming rescue teams and sharing supplies. No logical pattern to their behavior, he noted. They can show extreme cruelty and extreme kindness in the same day. No other species displays such range. The main screen flashed with an alert. His sensors had detected a new viral outbreak in a major human population center. Minho quickly directed all his observation equipment to focus on this event. Viral. Outbreaks had destroyed many developing civilizations before. This would be an important test for humans. Over the next weeks, Minho watched with growing interest as the pandemic spread across Earth. His species had predicted that such an event would cause human civilization to collapse. Their models showed that humans would fight over resources, abandon their sick, and retreat into tribal groups. Instead, something unexpected happened. Day 122, Minho recorded. The human response to the pandemic continues to defy our predictions. Their scientists have shared research across their political boundaries. They have developed a vaccine in record time, far faster than our models predicted possible with their technology level. He watched as humans distributed vaccines, built emergency hospitals, and created new systems to care for each other while maintaining distance. Some humans behaved badly, but most worked together. They don't respond to threats like any species I've studied, Minho noted in his log. They become more innovative, more unified when faced with a common enemy. The designation defenseless seems increasingly inaccurate. Minho's research was becoming dangerous. The more he learned about humans, the more he questioned the Council's policies. If humans were this adaptable against a virus, how would they respond to an alien threat? One evening, as Earth glowed blue on his view screen, Minho received an urgent message from the Council. It was marked with the highest priority. Codes? Researcher Minho, the message read, "Your ship has failed to report from its assigned maintenance route. Respond immediately with your location and status." Minho's heart raced. He had been discovered. He quickly composed a response claiming navigation problems and promising to return to his route. He knew they wouldn't believe him, but it might. Buy some time. As he prepared to send the message, his sensors detected something new. A human observatory on Earth was directing signals toward his exact location. The signals were searching patterns, methodical and precise. They were looking for something, looking for him. "Impossible," Minho whispered. His cloaking technology should be undetectable to humans. He checked his systems and found a small power fluctuation in the cloaking field. The humans had spotted the glitch. More alarmingly, the human signals matched. Variant communication patterns. They were using his people's own technology to find him. Minho quickly shut down all non-essential systems and boosted power to the cloak. As he worked, he noticed more human communications, encrypted signals bouncing between Earth's military bases. They were coordinating something. "They've known we're here all along," Minho realized with shock. The Council was wrong about everything. He looked at Earth with new understanding. Humans had pretended to be unaware of alien observation. They had developed technology in secret while maintaining a facade of primitive capabilities. Minho needed to warn the Council, but sending a message would reveal his location to the humans. He was trapped between breaking Council law and facing human discovery. On his screen, he watched as a small object launched from Earth. It was heading directly toward his location, moving faster than any human craft should be able to travel. "They're coming," Minho whispered. The humans had been waiting for someone like him to make a mistake. Now they were ready to make first contact. On their terms, not his. The malfunction in Minho's equipment happened in an instant. A small power cell, designed to last 50 years, had a tiny flaw. For just 3 seconds, the cloaking field around his moon base flickered. To the naked eye, nothing would have been visible, but the energy spike sent a clear signal across space. Minho didn't notice the problem at first. His systems quickly fixed the issue and restored full cloaking. He continued monitoring Earth, focusing on a human sporting event that showed their competitive nature. Deep beneath the city of Busan in South Korea, Colonel Sunwoo sat in a dimly lit room. Large screens covered the walls of the secret underground base. Only 30 people on Earth knew this facility existed. It had been built specifically to watch for aliens. Colonel Sunwoo sipped her coffee when suddenly an alarm sounded. Her screen flashed red. "Ma'am, we have a reading," said Technician Donghae. His fingers moved quickly across his keyboard. "Moon. Sector 4. Energy signature matches the patterns we've been looking for." Colonel Sunwoo put down her coffee. "Show me." The main screen displayed the moon's surface. A red dot blinked in a crater on the far side. "How long was the signature active?" Sunwoo asked. "Only 3 seconds, but it's enough. The pattern matches the same energy fluctuations we detected twice in the past year." Colonel Sunwoo nodded. For 20 years, Earth's secret space defense program had been collecting data on alien observation posts. They had never directly spotted one, but they had learned to detect the tiny energy spikes when alien technology malfunctioned. "Wake up Special Unit 7, Sunwoo ordered, and contact Director Park. Tell him we have confirmation. Moon sector. 4, just as our predictive models suggested." Within 30 minutes, the base was fully active. Director Park arrived, still wearing his pajamas under his coat. "Are you certain?" he asked Sunwoo. "The signature is clear. This is our chance." Director Park looked at the data and nodded slowly. "Launch the Blackbird. Captain Gina's team has been training for this moment." Deep beneath the waters near Jeju Island, a secret launch facility activated. Water drained from a massive chamber, revealing a sleek black spacecraft. It looked nothing like the primitive rockets that humans publicly used. This craft used technology reverse-engineered from crashed alien ships collected over centuries. Captain Gina and her team of 6 Special Forces soldiers boarded the craft. Each member had trained for this mission their entire career. "Remember," Gina told her team, "we want the alien alive. This is first contact on our terms." The Blackbird launched, in complete silence, using gravity manipulation technology that humans shouldn't have for another century. It left Earth's atmosphere in minutes and approached the moon from behind, staying in the radar shadow. Back in his observation post, Minho was growing worried. His communication system showed an incoming message from the Council. They were asking again about his location. As he prepared to respond, his sensors detected something approaching. "Impossible," he whispered. A craft was coming toward the moon. His instruments showed it was using technology similar to his own people's ships, but it had launched from Earth. Minho's hands shook as he tried to boost his cloaking field. Before he could finish, the craft landed just 50 meters from his hidden base. 7 figures in sleek spacesuits emerged. They moved with practiced precision, surrounding his base even though it should have been invisible to them. Minho activated his emergency beacon. If he was about to be captured, the Council needed to know. The signal burst forth, racing at faster-than-light speed toward his homeworld. Then came the sound he feared, a cutting tool slicing through his base's outer wall. The humans had found the exact location of his airlock. Minho grabbed a small defensive weapon. His people were not warriors, but all researchers carried protection. He hoped he wouldn't need it. The airlock opened. Minho expected to see primitive spacesuits, but the humans who entered wore advanced gear that looked almost like Varian design. The suits were thin and flexible, nothing like the bulky suits humans used in their public space missions. The leader removed her helmet. She was a human female with short black hair and calm eyes. "Do not be afraid," she said in clear accented Varian language. "We mean you no harm." Minho's translator wasn't even needed. The human spoke his language. "How is this possible?" Minho asked, lowering his weapon slightly. "You've been observing us," Captain Gina said with a small smile, "but we've been watching for you much longer." She gestured around the base. "Your technology is impressive, but we detected your cloaking signature. We've been tracking energy fluctuations like yours for decades." Minho's mind raced. Everything he thought he knew about humans was wrong. They weren't primitive. They had been hiding their true capabilities. "The Council believes your people are barely space-capable," Minho said. "We know," Gina replied. "We've worked hard to maintain that illusion. Your people's ships have crashed on our world 7 times in the last century. We've learned from each one." Another human brought forward a small device. "This is from a ship that crashed in 1947. Your people covered it up well, but we recovered." Most of the technology, Minho recognized the device. It was a standard navigation computer from a Varian scout ship. The model was centuries old, but humans shouldn't have been able to understand even that. "Why reveal yourselves to me now?" Minho asked. "Because your emergency beacon just told your people that we've captured you," Gina said. "The signal carries data. Your observations, sensor readings. They'll know we're not what they think we are." Minho's heart sank. He had just changed everything. His beacon's automatic data package included all his findings about human adaptability and technology. It would show the Council that humans had been deceiving them. "What happens now?" he asked. "Now," Captain Gina said, "you're going to help us prepare for your people's response. The game of pretending to be defenseless is over." As Minho looked at the capable humans surrounding him, he realized the truth. Earth had never been defenseless. The greatest deception in galactic history was coming to an end. The Galactic Security Council erupted in chaos. The emergency meeting had been called just hours after Minho's beacon signal reached the Varian homeworld. 23 representatives from the most powerful species in the galaxy sat around the massive circular table. The normal rules of order had broken down as the aliens argued loudly. "This is unprecedented," shouted Representative Lodan, his red scales flaring with anger. "Humans have captured one of our observers and our technology." Defense Minister Hyunki stood up, his tall, thin body towering over the others, his purple skin darkened with emotion. As he pounded his 3-fingered hand on the table, "We must prepare our fleets," Hyunki insisted. "If humans have captured our technology, they could reverse engineer our weapons systems. We must strike first before they become a true threat, Ambassador." Taiho, who had long advocated caution regarding Earth, tried to calm the Council. "We don't know the full situation yet. Researcher Minho went to Earth against orders. Perhaps this is a misunderstanding." "Misunderstanding?" interrupted Councillor Sana. "The data package from Minho's beacon shows humans using gravity manipulation technology. They have ships that can reach our moon in hours. They spoke our language. How is this possible if they are truly a defenseless species?" The council room was designed to showcase the power of the Galactic Alliance. Massive windows looked out into space, showing the impressive fleet of ships that protected their interests. The central table was made from rare metals from a dozen worlds. The walls displayed trophies and artifacts from their long history of space exploration. "Perhaps," suggested Representative Yuki, the oldest member present, "we should send a diplomatic mission, learn what the humans want before we consider military action." "Too risky," Hyunki responded. We should send a battle fleet, show our strength. Make them release Minho and surrender all our technology they've collected. As the argument continued, a young aide rushed into the room and whispered something to Ambassador Taiho. The ambassador's eyes widened. "Counselors," Taiho said, his voice shaking slightly, "I've just received word that there is an unidentified ship approaching the station." The room fell silent. "What kind of ship?" Yunki demanded. It appears to be of human design," Taiho replied. "Impossible," thought many of the counselors. The nearest human outpost was their moon. No human ship could have traveled to the council station so quickly. It would take years with their technology. The station's security system activated. Screens around the room showed the approaching vessel. It was sleek and black, unlike the bulky rockets humans were known to use. It moved with precision that suggested advanced propulsion systems. "How did they find us?" whispered Councillor Sana. "This station's location is our most closely guarded secret." The security chief's voice came over the communication system. "The ship is requesting permission to dock. They claim to be a diplomatic delegation from Earth." The councillors looked at each other in shock. How could humans have reached them so quickly? How could they even know where the council station was? "Deny them access," Yunki shouted. "This must be some kind of attack." But before the security chief could respond, another voice came over the system. "Council members, the human ship has already docked. Our security protocols were bypassed. They're requesting to address the council immediately." Minutes later, the massive doors to the council chamber slid open. 5 humans entered, walking calmly into the center of the room. They wore simple, dark suits that looked formal but practical. Despite their diplomatic appearance, anyone could see they moved like soldiers, alert, confident, and dangerous. The lead human, a tall man with short black hair streaked with gray, bowed slightly to the council. The other 4 humans spread out behind him in a defensive formation. "We apologize for arriving unannounced," said the man in perfect galactic standard language. "My name is Ambassador Jinwoo. I represent the United Earth government. We've known about this council for generations." The councillors stared in stunned silence. Humans shouldn't know galactic standard. They shouldn't know about the council at all. And they certainly shouldn't be standing in this room light years from Earth. "This is outrageous," Yunki finally sputtered. "You have no right to be here. How did you even find this station?" Ambassador Jinwoo smiled politely. "We've been tracking your communications for over a century. As for how we got here," he gestured to one of his companions who activated a small device. A hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed hundreds of alien artifacts, spacecraft parts, and communication devices. Each item was labeled with a date and location. New Mexico, 1947. Siberia, 1908. Japan, 1803. Jinwoo continued, pointing to different items. "Your people have been visiting Earth for a very long time, not always successfully." The hologram changed to show intercepted communications, messages between council members discussing Earth. "While you believed us defenseless, we prepared," Jinwoo continued. "We recovered your crashed ships. We studied your technology. We learned your languages and decoded your communications." The councillors watched in growing horror as the hologram showed human laboratories where alien technology was being studied and replicated. "We could have developed weapons specifically targeting your biological and technological vulnerabilities," Jinwoo said calmly. "We know about the radiation frequency that disrupts variant neural patterns. We understand the genetic, a weakness in Lodan's cellular structure." He looked directly at each councillor as he spoke. "Instead, we're here to propose alliance." The room was completely silent now. The unspoken threat hung in the air. Humans had chosen peace, but were prepared for war. "And what of researcher Minho?" Ambassador Taiho finally asked. "Is he your prisoner?" In response, Jinwoo stepped aside. Minho walked into the room looking nervous but unharmed. "I am not a prisoner," Minho said. "I am here as a witness. Humans are not what we thought they were. They never have been." Ambassador Jinwoo stepped forward again. "For centuries you've watched us from a distance, believing us unaware. That ends today. Earth is ready to join the galactic community, as equals, not as a subject world." Yunki began to object, but stopped when he saw something through the windows. A fleet of black ships had appeared, surrounding the council station, human ships with weapons ready. The message was clear. Negotiation was the only option. 1 solar cycle after the humans revealed themselves to the Galactic Council, representatives from 27 alien species gathered in the Great Hall on Earth. The massive room had been built specially for this historic occasion in what was once called Switzerland. Tall windows showed the snow-capped mountains outside. The walls displayed art from both human and alien cultures. Today, Earth would be formally recognized as a major galactic power. Ambassador Jinwoo stood at the center of the hall, watching, as the alien dignitaries took their places. The path to this day had not been easy. Many in the Council had feared Earth's sudden emergence as a spacefaring civilization. Some had called for restrictions on human expansion. A few had even suggested military action, but the humans had been patient and firm. They had revealed just enough of their technology and knowledge to make it clear that they could defend themselves, if necessary, but they had also shown their desire for peace through countless small gestures. In the crowd, Minho stood near the Earth delegation. His role had changed dramatically in the past year. After returning to his homeworld briefly, he had requested a permanent position on Earth as a liaison. Now he wore the formal blue and white uniform of Earth's new Interstellar Relations Division. Elder Wu Jin, the most respected member of the Galactic Council, approached the central podium. His age showed in his deep blue skin and the silver patches that covered most of his body. He had lived through 3 centuries of galactic politics and had seen many new species join the community of worlds. But never like this, never a species that had hidden its true nature for so long. Today we welcome Earth as the newest full member of the Galactic Alliance, Wu Jin announced, his voice carried by translators to every being in the hall. Earth's status change is perhaps the most unusual in our long history. Wu Jin turned to look at the electronic registry displayed on the massive screen behind him. Next to Earth's entry, the classification still read Defenseless, but now with a special notation. The original survey team saved countless lives, Elder Wu Jin acknowledged, as he prepared to sign the formal documents. Captain Do Yun's decision to classify Earth as defenseless was not deception, as some have claimed. It was wisdom. Had we approached Earth as conquerors, the resulting conflict would have devastated both sides. Director Haywen of Earth's Interstellar Relations Division stepped forward to sign alongside Wu Jin. She was a small woman with short gray hair who had spent 40 years working in Earth's secret space program before it became public. Our isolation gave us time to develop in our own way, Haywen said as she signed her name. We learned to appear, harmless while always being prepared. When your ships crashed on our world, we studied them. When your observers watched us, we watched back, not out of hostility, but out of necessity. The ceremony continued with speeches and cultural performances. Human musicians played alongside alien artists. Earth foods were served alongside delicacies from a dozen worlds. It was a celebration of new beginnings. Later that evening, Minho stood on the observation deck of the new spaceport, near what humans called the Pacific Ocean. Below him, 3 large ships were being prepared for departure. These were the first cultural exchange vessels, specially designed ships that would carry human artists, scientists, and diplomats to distant worlds. Enjoying the view? A voice asked from behind him. Minho turned to see Ambassador Jinwoo approaching. The human had aged visibly, even in just 1 solar cycle, a reminder of how brief human lives were compared to many galactic species. It's remarkable, Minho replied. A year ago, humans were thought to be primitive beings barely able to reach their own moon. Now your ships will travel to the far reaches of the Alliance. Not so different from your ships, Jinwoo noted with a smile. We had good teachers, even if they didn't know they were teaching. They stood in silence for a moment, watching the activity below. Workers moved supplies into the ships while security teams conducted final checks. I'm finalizing my report to the Council, Minho said eventually. My observations of Earth over this transition period. And what have you concluded? Jinwoo asked. Minho looked thoughtful. Earth's greatest deception was convincing the galaxy they were defenseless when their greatest weapon was always their unpredictability. The warning label that kept us away was the wisest protection we could have offered to ourselves. Jinwoo nodded slowly. We never wanted war, but we always prepared for it. It's the human way. It's what makes you different from other species, Minho agreed. Most civilizations develop along predictable paths. Yours took 1,000 unexpected turns. Below them, the first ship's engines began to glow as systems came online. Soon it would carry humans farther from Earth than any had officially traveled before. Will you continue as our liaison? Jinwoo asked. If you'll have me, Minho replied. I've learned more studying humans in 1 year than I did studying 50 other species in my entire career. A small alarm chimed on Jinwoo's wrist device. The reception is starting. The Arcturian delegation is particularly interested in meeting you. As they walked toward the elevator, Minho looked back at the ships one last time. Do you think it will work? True cooperation between such different beings? Jinwoo smiled. If there's one thing humans are good at, it's adapting to new situations. We'll figure it out together. Together, Minho repeated the word. A concept humans understand. Better than most species. It's why you survived when others would have fallen. The elevator doors closed, carrying them down to join the celebration of a new era, one where Earth's defenseless status was understood for what it truly was. The greatest strategic deception in galactic history, and perhaps the greatest peacekeeping measure as well. The galaxy had much to learn from the humans who had fooled them all,